I needed to cleanse more,
Mm-hmm.
like I did in the past 2 years. So comprehend better the perspective and maybe the collective mind, the bio mind.
You're saying the 2 years ago energy was heavy coming in,
Yes, yes.
as opposed to like the 2012 thing.
It was higher, maybe because right now I comprehend better what happened at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, I didn't get a lot in 2012. I know.
for me, it started to change my life in better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, it started to change 8 years ago, like a preparation for 212.
Mm-hmm.
But I started painting a lot that period
Yep.
for 2 years and like a prep and imagine how I want to get into more refined life, at that
Mm-hmm.
time,
Yep.
and achieve some dreams, some old dreams, and actually it worked. It worked for 4 years, pretty good. But after that, I don't know what happened. It was like somebody tried to steal our dreams or hack,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and I don't blame it because I learned a lot. I found
2012.
from the internet a lot of people who just like you, and that's pretty neat.
Yeah, yeah. In 2012, I'm trying to think. That was back when my eBay business was getting ripped out, and I had to stop doing that. Like some other force came in and said, "You're not doing this anymore," and I was like, "All right." It was around maybe
uh,
2012,
you can
2013.
do anything. I guess you can do anything. You have a brilliant mind, so
I can do anything, but I'm also limited because like when I the this last 2 years, uh, I more went into the people, right? Before I wasn't interacting with the people. I was,
same here.
yeah.
This bio mind, this upgrade, made the levels to be more connected,
Mm-hmm.
to see everything collective in a collective sense.
And then
So
like you can do whatever you want in a sense, but the stuff that you're doing that's involving people, you can't do whatever you want.
yep, yep. Because before I was in a strongest man competition, bodybuilding and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and suddenly stopped because it wasn't the main goal. I was not helping others. I was inspiring a bunch of people, but when it comes to my inner child, my inner stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and wanted to paint again, nobody had the same approach on me. And actually, when I started to talk and post even on Facebook or uh, my foundings, I mean, all started with the Mandela effect,
Mm-hmm.
and I started noticing all kind of difference, like timelines was sleeping, I was pushed around, and I was okay. I've done that before.
Yeah.
Somehow I had that preparation because I read a lot. I was like 10 years ago, I started to read a lot of esoteric stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but I was not like, okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna be a white magician, gray magician, or
Mm-hmm.
pink magician, or stuff like that. But I understood a lot of things, and I was getting ready. It was like
Yeah. 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 The
for the
book
game.
the books definitely laid a framework for me. Um, I mean, there's the majority of the literature out there is just machine mind stuff, but if you find the ones that
Hmm.
are not that, then it tells you everything you need to know.
I guess so. Everything is in front of us to experience exactly what we have to experience.
Yeah, you're given everything. Like even in the bad situations, you're given everything you need, and then you still have your own sort of personal leeway where you can move within that energy. It's never like a stuck thing where it's like, oh, Darrian, now this is your life and you must only do this. It's not like that. It's like, yes, these big changes and shifts happen, but still within that you can move within it.
Yes, I like to say I'm going with the flow, but I'm going with my own perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've seen a lot of people change, and that's bad because I don't think the ego is bad. I guess
Mm.
maybe a part of the ego dies, and something new comes like a butterfly inside your mind,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
from there you start activating other codes, or I don't know, the lucid dreaming is different from that.
Yeah. 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 The ego. Things have to die. There are like mental paradigms that have to die, but it's not like you need a construct through which to flow your own energy. If you don't have that, then you don't even know what's going on. You're just floating somewhere somehow, like, or else you don't exist at all, or else you're like in some hypnosis or dream state or whatever. So you need that structure, that structural framework. It's your body, right? Your body kind of is the ego in a
Yeah.
sense because like it has very
Yes, it
specific
is. Yes, it is. Uh,
characteristics, right?
right, right.
So I mean, if you say, "Oh, I'm fully ego dying," well, then why is your body still there? Why are you still talking?
Yeah, I was in. Yeah, you're pretty. I agree with that.
But at the
Sorry,
same,
my English is not. It's not so amazing because I'm Romanian.
mm-hmm.
I speak 6 languages, but I try to catch up with English from the past 2 years.
Yeah, no, you speak fine.
Thanks.
Plus, it's also like
So
it's the energy. It's your own personal energy that I read anyway. It's you could speak in stuttered English and I'll probably still understand you perfectly.
yeah,
You know,
how are your dreams lately?
the dreams. They're kind of coming back, but during my sort of like dark night times, which was my whole 20s basically, it was
Hmm.
all nightmares and it was all terrors and boogie monsters. And I've told people this story before, but many times I would wake up, and this is like without being correlated to a specific event necessarily, but I would wake up from sleeping in the midst of running down the street, like running away from some energy, and I didn't know why or how, but just like this terror is there, right? And
Yep,
that
yep,
happened many,
I
many,
understand that.
many times, many years. I'd wake up sweating profusely, not knowing why, just in fear for some reason, and it wasn't. It was rarely even connected with like a visual, like there's a creature over there trying to get you. It was rarely. It was
Hmm.
never like that. Like it was always a sort of a mental thing.
Ever felt something like paranormal after waking up from a dream and see something around you, or like
It
black
never it never went into the manifest
stuff,
for me.
or
It never did it.
never?
Never. I
That's
kind of
pretty good.
I kind of like was not wanting or something, but like I was like, is this ever gonna actually be a thing, or is it always gonna be some sort of premonition feeling? And
So
never really did.
I guess you are living outside the city. If you are living in the city, the energy from the past 2 years was terrible. I'm living in a crowded place,
Mm-hmm.
in an apartment, and I felt like was like crazy this time. I mean, it was like a salvia trip.
Mm-hmm.
for a bunch of times for me, like something like was grabbing me or was really heavy. Even I cleansed like 2 years.
That's
Maybe
without doing any substances, like just the last 2 years as they are.
I tried some mushrooms at some time
Mm-hmm.
to comprehend better and to use my mind as meditation to open my own DMT,
Mm-hmm.
and that was pretty good trip. Some merry, but that doesn't work for me. What's medicine for others might be poison for me.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I tried a little from everything,
Mm-hmm.
just to absorb and to identify my own weaknesses and approach life from that point.
Yeah. There. I mean, there's an aspect of surrender that needs to be come to with every individual. That where prior to that, the ego construct that has been fed to you by the society is fed in the reversal. So it says like you as the individual need to you need to do it yourself. You need to go out there and get your money, and you need to situate yourself and
Yep.
have the house, have the whatever. It's just
Nobody will come to save you.
right. It's kind of upside down though, because like when you come out of that mindset and you actually join with the community, then you see that you were just floundering on the beach by yourself, like as a fish out of water, and nobody was even doing anything. You weren't even doing anything.
Yes, yes. What I was thinking about from the past 2 years. Okay, I can do that. I can go all the way, but I don't know if people around me. I mean, after the stories with the NPCs and was like, okay, I don't know if their spirit, their connect energy comes back in this place, in this field, they will be like crazy
Yeah.
for such short period of time or maybe more. I don't know. After that, I've seen some videos with Og,
Mm-hmm.
but I dropped that because at some point I went into a lucid dream as a cloning, as a clone.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand that we have infinite realms,
Mm-hmm.
and when somebody hits you with that kind of story, it's pretty cool. You understand a lot of things, but maybe it's not my place. You know
Right.
what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. Yeah. That's
To to, to
that.
open your eyes inside a clone body, like I was in an apartment and I started activating my lucid dream. I started noticing I'm different. I'm somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
and I was looking as me, but I have plenty of inks,
Mm-hmm.
tattoos on my body, and that body didn't have enough. And
Wow.
okay, I started for I don't know. For me, a lucid dream can be between I don't know 2-3 hours to actually 2-3 days.
Really?
Even if even if it takes here I don't know maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes of sleep.
Yeah.
So
So the time is expanded in the lucid dream.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I prefer the light realms that help me do paintings and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. Those with the heavy stuff, I understand, come from depression, from a lot of watching the movies.
Mm-hmm.
And the movies, I'm not saying they're bad, but books are better
Books.
because
Yeah. Well, books you have time. Like you can reread a certain thing if it means something to you. Like the movie. I mean, I guess you could rewind it, but like
Yes, but with books, you can arrange in 3D every detail, every aspect, every, I don't know, surroundings and places and rooms and smells and everything. With
Yeah.
movies, it's action. It's action all the time, and it's gonna make you adrenaline rush,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
your mind floats. So in a
Yeah.
different perspective.
With books, the way, because like with me, my own language changed as far as how words are affecting me. Completely
Yes,
changed, right? So like now when I'm speaking, then it's layering out. There are lots of layers going out from what I'm saying, and then whoever's listening, depending on what level your mind can take, it can see all those layers or not. But you can't do that with a movie because it's like static images, kind of.
your language is colorful, like
Yeah.
an artist that's brushing something
Mhm.
amazing. So that's why your sky sometimes have rainbows, sometimes have that kind of,
Yeah. Yeah. It spills out for sure.
yeah. Uh, I've seen you playing chess a few times, and
Really?
that's pretty cool.
You saw?
Yeah. That's pretty cool. And actually, I try to project, to win more and something like that, not because I understand that everybody who have this kind of path to obtain. After all, we all need to obtain some level of success,
Mhm.
and okay, we are stuck in a basic reality of metrics, and we need to take care of our family or ourselves. So
You
we
have to
need
do both.
to,
You have to like the the way I did it is I stopped trying to segment everything out, right? Like so instead of like now I'm creating a thing, now I'm making a
yeah.
painting, I just put it all into the same thing and now I'm doing it all the time with whatever I'm doing. And so for me to pull out from that stream like this thing is particularly good but all the rest of it is not as good, like I don't do that anymore. So it's all the same thing now to me. With
Yeah,
like little
it's
there are little
simpler and
there are little spikes here and there where like, oh, I'm playing a chess game so I'm doing something different in the construct, but still like the energy that came in the last 2 years, it just permeates everything.
uh, I guess everybody's on a higher level right now,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe at some point it's gonna be a split. I don't know. Everybody go to their dreamland, and I like to say, if at some point something happened drastically,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to my inner kingdom. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's why I'm trying to open my inner eye all the time and
Mm-hmm.
meditate. And even if I had like Alan Watts experiment and meet some jokers, inside jokers, man, that's that's bad stuff.
It's good. It's good.
Yes, it's good after that, but when you are in a meditation and somebody, like
You're
when
saying
the
are you
screen
saying Alan
opens
Watts?
for
You saying
you and
Alan Watts turned
you
on
see
you?
a clown.
Did he turn on? Did Alan Watts turn on you?
Sorry.
Did Alan Watts turn bad for you somehow, like in a dream or something?
No,
No.
no. Um, when I was in a meditation and I opened my third eye for the first time, a clown was near me and
A clown?
started to laugh. Yeah. And like a joker, a prankster,
Uh
or
huh.
something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, after that, I understood that might be a part of me. So I was okay with it.
Yep.
And because they are there to make you go in a lower vibration and to spook you somehow and
Yeah.
don't meditate anymore.
Right.
But after that, when you write that, path, everything's gonna be all right.
Yeah, it's like an invitation. It's always invitations. Like, here's this feeling, and you can like grab the feeling and go into that, and then go into it. Your whole trip will change, and you'll be like running away from a monster or something. Or else you can say you can
Yes,
like
yes,
laugh. You
yes.
can laugh at it, or say like that monster is also part of me. So like it actually can't. If it hurts me, then it's hurting itself. So it's not gonna want to do that. Like there are many ways to approach sort of the fear thing, but they do have their place. Like they're not. They have their place just as much as the good things do.
And when you are an empath or you become a catalyst, you attract a lot of bullshit from around you, a lot of bad energy, and
Mm-hmm.
after that, you don't know what's wrong with you, but actually are small parts from the entities, and you need to get rid of that.
Yeah.
Even if you are an artist and okay, I'm gonna brush that thing, and maybe it's not good for you. You need to be your own empowerment.
Yeah, you have to deal with the energy somehow. Otherwise, the energy will just run your life. It will say like, now you're getting up, now you're going here, now you're going there, now you're talking to this person, blah blah blah. If you don't actually
Yeah,
take that energy and transmute it or something into something that's yours, then it's just gonna make your own life. It will make your life for you.
yeah. You travel a lot from in
Not
the past
physically
two
so
years.
much. A little bit. A little bit. I don't know. I've traveled physically, but most of it is energetic because like the physical is the pretend part of the life. It's the weirdest thing because like that's the most obvious part because that's what you see and hear and stuff. But that's the most inauthentic part is like what's happening physically.
Yes, both ways are correct,
Both ways.
inner and outside.
But you have to come in super skewed on one side and then be able to say okay it's all physical and then say okay no it's all energetic and then you find some sort of balancing point in
Yes,
between
yes,
that.
the balancing is very important at the end of the process.
Yeah.
Uh,
But it is like
we'll have
it's this for
yeah,
a while.
like a snake.
Hmm.
It flows, it flows.
Because I mean in the little bit of drugs that I did, and I'm too sensitive for most of them. Like a weed trip will do a salvia thing to me or something, but you know, you see it becomes clear like when you're just normally baseline. You don't think about any of it. Like no thoughts. You're just thinking about like when am I gonna eat or when am I gonna get some money or whatever. Like that's your thought pattern. And then once you get like two levels deeper or one level deeper, then the whole thing just explodes, and you're like, you have to somehow find your way again after like all of the
Mm-hmm.
possibilities are just coming in on you,
Yeah, I guess weed is good for meditation, and maybe occasionally, like Sundays, and to stay still for 20-30 minutes,
It
meditate.
never gave me like relaxation, like smoking.
No?
No, it was just total chaos. It like I've done salvia once, but it didn't seem to affect me as much. Like every time I did weed and I would read like experience reports of salvia, I would think like, oh, like I smoked salvia, not weed, you know.
Yeah.
It was something like that. Like it was pure chaos. But it also taught me a lot, and I learned the very subtleties of how the energy moves through that.
Mm-hmm.
Not intentionally, because I wouldn't go into that intentionally. It was terrible.
uh, so, with what storyline you are right now? What you want to achieve, or
I'm
what's
not I'm
your?
not on a
I'm not
storyline.
asking you what's your game plan.
Yeah, right. I mean, the storyline literally changed into the no narrative storyline. Like that's what happened, and that became the new baseline, and inside of which narratives come and go.
Yes.
Um,
Maybe that's why we are here. We are here to learn and
mm-hmm.
to stay healthy and to be, I don't know, to live 70, 80, 100 years more and to see what the fuck is going on, you know? And
Yeah. Well, because you can't see it. Like, that's the only thing I learned in weed, aside from the trauma, was that fundamental grasping that your mind wants to do, like it wants to grab hold of something. That's the one thing that's denied from everyone that exists. That doesn't exist. You can't find it. But the process of trying to
it
grab.
exists, but it exists outside. It's like when you do an astral projection
Mm-hmm.
outside from your body. You're not inside your body anymore. You see yourself from outside. Ever happened to you?
Yeah, I've done astral projection here and there. Also, I think dreams are astral projection because you're living out
Yes,
you're
yes.
living out scenes and you're not in the same body. You know, you're in some different body. But
Yeah.
in the dream state, the same thing is true, which is that you can't grasp it, but you don't care about it because you're not sitting there worrying about identity and who am I and all this bullshit. There's just the thing is happening and you're in it, and it changes as it.
Yeah, like you are going from a room to another and the entire screen is changing.
Yeah, right.
One second you are flying, 1 second you are in a, I don't know, zombie land or
Yeah, and it's so
yeah.
fast. Like it's so fast that you couldn't sit there and try to
Yes,
grab
yes,
it
yes.
if you tried. If you tried to grab it, then maybe you could stop the slideshow from happening for a second or something like that. But the grabbing itself becomes another thing in the scene.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. I had a lot of paranormal activities from I was a kid, and right now these 2 years actually made me more focused on myself and not being in those ghostly realms.
Yeah.
Even I understand that perhaps might be one more year like beneath those who are kindly without a dream, and I don't know, I don't like to say NPCs or dead people or but kinda they are, because
Mm-hmm.
I see people that they are thinking like in 16th century and they
Mm-hmm.
don't belong here,
Yep.
and that made me I was born like in a red zone. Like you need to be like a soldier, you need to train yourself, you need to be a tough guy or somebody else will come and steal your cake,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And that kind of childhood made me who I am right now, but that doesn't change my inner part. I mean, I was not a bully or something like that. I try to help like other kids to avoid that kind of approaches from others. And in the past few years, I felt like I was like that kid again, like the comeback kid. I don't know. It was like I'm living my life once again,
Mm-hmm.
but in another level.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm 35, so
Yeah. It's just different. It's different having your sort of inner vision actually come out in some aspect versus back before, you know, the awakening or whatever. Before that, your inner vision just doesn't get seen at all. You were given the three options, and you know the society says pick one, two, or three, and then you're like, okay, I guess three
yeah,
is.
yeah, I was in that. All my friends said, okay, you need to pick that, pick that. No, man, I don't need to pick nothing. I was way above. I was in a fucking carnival. I was in Zombieland. I've seen an apocalypse like a veil, black veil
Even back
going
then, you
down.
were outside of it. Like high
It
school
was
or
like I was
whenever?
walking on the street and the sky went off.
Really?
It was it was bad trip. But I had a lot of bad trips, but I didn't started to be like the best Christian ever, like Jesus, or because that's like a trap for me to be. It's like an ego trap to be so amazing, graceful, and so full of light.
That's an ego
Because
trap?
uh, for myself, I embrace my darkness and my light.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I need to make room for my darkness and my light. I don't want to be afraid of the night. I don't want to be afraid of the sun. You know what I
Right,
mean? I
right,
don't
right,
want to
right.
be a vampire or
Well, I
a
mean,
wizard.
that's the narrative that is sold, is that that's also what Alan Watts talks about, the idea that black must win or white must win. Like that's dumb. That's just bullshit. It just makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah. That's bullshit. And we kind of been in that spiritual war.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I felt like it was a spiritual war
Yep.
for who's the biggest ideology or
The funny
religion on the world.
the weird thing about it is that, like, even though I can say, the religions that claim whatever they claim are bullshit, the factions still fight. Like the light still fights the darkness, and the darkness still fights the light. Like that stuff still
Yeah,
goes on.
I guess it's the surviving way of all paradigms.
Yeah, it's just, it provides something to look at, I guess. Like you have something going on, so then you can get in there, and depending on what you actually are, like
Yeah,
if you're an
and
asshole, and then you should.
sometimes it's pretty cool to do that role play.
Yeah, yeah.
But you can change. One time you be the bad guy, one time you can be the good guy, like Superman, and the most villain of what you can make from your own co-creation.
You can change. I think there is a natural inclination for certain beings to be like more generous or compassionate, and some of them are just like, they're just vampires, like they just suck and eat and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
I felt like that because during these years I tried to, because when you paint and do art stuff, actually you give yourself up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you are the bait
Mm.
and they come for you. And I try to, and when you cleanse so deep, I mean, the cleansing going for me like a vegetarian
Mm-hmm.
almost killed me because my body don't function like that.
Mm-hmm.
I train heavy. I like to punch a lot of the boxing
Mm-hmm.
bag and
Yeah. Yeah.
do my own stuff because I need to be prepared even if in real life.
Yeah.
You never know who's approaching you in a different because you can sleep. You I'm not that kind of Buddha, and be all present all the time and stay in one room in my altar. I need to go to work. I need to.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I'm not like that either. I I stuff is coming at me all the time, but it's never like a human being running at me. That has happened a couple times. That has always been like a laughing situation though when that happened. But like the
Like cartoonish.
yeah, like it's just like, whoa, this is happening. But energetically, like this, it's just a constant, like, it's just going and going. It never stops. And it's also interesting, it's not. I don't
Yeah,
like all of it. I don't like
that's
having.
amazing with this universe.
Yeah, it never stops. But it also is aware of you and how much you've had, how much you need. How if you want to take a break, you can like tell, like, back the fuck off for a
I
little bit.
guess we all need a break right now. I feel it. My bio mind says that. I mean, not a break from social activities, but somehow a vacation, somehow a bonus.
Mm.
I quit on the approach to be like someone famous or something like that. Even no, that's not working for me. I can dream big, but I need to change my approach on this level of reality. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for
I'm
me, it was.
joking when I'm saying I'm gonna sell my art with millions of dollars, and
I know, but
because
you're
I
also not
know they.
joking.
Sorry.
You're joking and you're not joking. Like I understand what you're saying when
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. Because it could happen.
Yeah.
I opened that door. Okay, it could happen, but I know it pisses people off. You know, and I can do something with that energy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I can paint more and more and more and more, and I was like that in the bodybuilding before.
Yeah.
I had the same approach. I was okay. This year I'm gonna be like 200. Next year I'm gonna be 220, and after that I was 243.
Mm-hmm.
So every year I was trying to do my best to achieve something else, and but I quit because I don't want to live all my life in without a t-shirt or you know I might be a savage, half savage and half upgraded
Yeah. Yeah.
somehow.
Yeah.
But
Well, we kind of like we backburnered all of the sort of primal instincts that humans actually need to have satisfied. You know, we turned sex into
yeah,
some
yeah.
weird thing. Like everything that's normal for a human got taken away or flipped or fucked with somehow. So
Sex is important, but you need to do something with that creation. I mean, you have a tool, and when you do that, try to create something in the universe, like your own mark, or but something good.
hmm
I don't know. But once again, we go back to dark and and the light stuff. Something colorful. We have infinite colors there.
I think with the dark light battle, it's like you can get stuck like a lot of religious people do in the pure polarity spectrum of that scale. Like you're only thinking like run away from the devil, run into heaven, and that's what dictates your entire
Yeah,
daily routine. But then like if you see that there's it's a scale, right? Then as you're moving through your day, you're like, okay, this energy is attacking me. That's bad. I don't like it. But it's also giving me something to do. Like I can creatively figure out how to deal with this energy and see if
yeah,
maybe.
but it's not okay if it grabs you. If like 10 people projects shit on you,
Mm-hmm.
and you are on a low vibration in one day, maybe you don't like the day, and maybe you don't like the coffee. Maybe I don't know, you argue with your girlfriend or something like that, and that that energy comes and grab you when you are weak.
Mm-hmm.
That's not. You need to be on a higher level all the time. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but you that happening to you shows you that, right? How else would you know to be on a higher level?
yeah, yeah, that shows you that you are kind of fragile.
Yeah.
I mean, but in same time, you have the power to be a lower key co-creator as well, and be maybe more nasty than others. Uh,
Yeah, and
but I don't want
everybody
to go in
doesn't
that direction.
everybody doesn't show their hand, so to speak, like when I decided I heard somebody say at one point as far as like enlightenment and all that drama stuff, like if you want to be enlightened, whatever you think that means, it's a decision. You say I want to be enlightened, and then you're enlightened.
Yeah,
It's as simple as that.
yeah,
Like
but it comes in phases. Maybe 1 year, 10 years, or something like that.
Yeah, you can't
waves.
dictate. You can't dictate how it happens. You can just say this is my intent.
Yeah, because if all that energy hits you one time, man, I don't know, you are out from here. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We are
and if
we're
you are
fragile.
still here, maybe a part of from you here, you go crazy.
Mhm. Yep. I
It's
mean,
hard to grasp.
a lot of people end up in the asylums because they saw like a tiny piece of it. Like nobody can see.
Yes,
There's.
and why? Because I have a friend that his girlfriend went to Asylum this period, and because she entered in a regression, kind of she is an artist as well,
Mm-hmm.
and but didn't had the cleansing part
Mm.
done, and when the energy hit her, she saw God, and I understand. I told him, okay, maybe she's seen apart from her. I mean, it's obviously a creator outside the spectrum,
Mm-hmm.
but usually when you see something big, like you are this big,
Mm-hmm.
and see something huge, but that's you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
uh.
And you scare yourself from you, like you
Yeah.
scare from your own shadow.
Right. Right.
Even light can do that to you. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, for the bad people, the energy of light of goodness literally burns them. Like it actually destroys them. It kills them. So like we're as bad for them as they are for us. It just works in both
yeah,
ways.
that's why I'm saying you need to be on balance. When I feel the fire within, I go to the gym or I
Mm-hmm.
try to create something with my hands
Yeah.
and do something with that energy. I can't keep it.
You can't keep it. It will get too much, and then you'll have to like run
Yes,
outside or something, right?
yes, I can keep it, and I don't know, but I don't want I don't like to watch movies at that time or read books or something like that. I need to do something with it
Yeah.
because that's why I have it. Maybe go outside and touch people
Yeah.
or
You
smile.
you can do anything with it. I think for me, like when I realized that I can do anything I want, I mean, technically speaking, anything, then I didn't want to do it anymore. Like somehow that catapulted me down into the deeper energy levels, and then here on the surface, it looks like I'm doing not very much of anything. But at the same time, like energetically, at least with the channel, you can see lots of stuff is going on. But still, at the same time, you don't see that I'm doing very much. It's just that I'm like operating on different levels.
Yeah, and I felt it was like a gold rush this period as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people made a lot of money with bitcoins, cryptos, and
Yeah, probably.
stuff like that.
Yeah, the
I
people who
didn't
made the
invest
system.
in that, even if I had the opportunity.
Yeah, like having money for me, not having money was the whole thing. That was the whole point about it. Was to learn how to creatively move while having not very much money. And that always provided the impetus for action because I'm like a cat. Like I like doing nothing. I like sitting around. And I like not being.
Yeah, we are kind of lazy people.
Right.
That's why I always try to do something with me with my body because I understand that if you are going to be healthy, you need to activate all kind of motions inside your body. Only training gets you 25% to live longer. When you go in the cleansing mode and detox your body, you add 50% of your life, and so on. Uh, I'm not saying from time to time to not drink beer or whiskey or something like that. Or,
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know, like for some reason with me getting on the thought trains and like enacting them out, that became too loud for me, so I stopped doing it. But like, and I keep around the vices. Like I drink beer on purpose because I want that vice.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. It keeps you on the horizontal as well, not only on vertical. You know,
Yeah.
and that's really good.
Because like with me, if I'm baseline, I know myself like very well at that state, and I also know that I prefer like stillness and silence, and I just won't move. Like nothing will happen. I'll sit.
Yeah,
So like,
I've been in that kind of posture. I mean, even 2 years I didn't spoke with nobody,
mm-hmm.
had no social activity, and I felt like when I hit back on the Facebook like 500 likes and only for one picture, and it was like they were hungry for me, you know.
Yeah.
And that's I'm gonna do for next year. I was like showing in their face art this year, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And for next year, I don't know. I feel I need to relax more, have spend more time with family, with my girlfriend, and maybe go do some hiking, see
Yeah.
another places.
Yeah. I when I finally got this place, because I've been sort of
I'm
transient.
glad for you.
Yeah. Thank you. Um,
Finally.
Finally, yeah, like, but like at the same time, I don't move a lot even when I'm here, like, but I still like interacting with the people, so I like making videos and stuff like that, but I just am so slow. Like I take my time because I can, because I'm so used. The old me was like hectic, this and that, running for things, but then I realized that all the running was never gonna get me the thing. So like I realized that even when you have a thing you want to get, it still doesn't matter when you get it. So the time that you're taking to get it is irrelevant. You might as well like take 2 days or take
After
1 minute.
all, what makes you happy? To be rich or to have a rich life? You know.
Yeah, to have your life actually be good in the moments that you're
Yeah,
living.
yeah. That's grateful.
You're not you can only drive one car at a time. Billionaire means nothing. Like
Yeah.
all that means is that you have this artificial control over people, and they're just going to resent you for it unless you're getting them rich, and you can only get so many people rich.
Somehow I understand that we give a lot of energy to corporation and companies without our if we don't notice that, and that's upsetting, if you understand what I mean.
Well,
I mean, if you are living in a building like I am, and at the first level you have a big store and everything, like a lot of people going inside all the time, you know, that energy flows,
mm-hmm. Yep.
and it strikes you.
Well, it's also like I realized at some point the stores and the things, the corporations, it's a path for your mind to flow down. Like they made a path. They're like, here's a slip and slide. Throw your mind down there, and
Yeah,
then you throw your mind down. You're like, oh, that was fun. Let's do it again. So then it became like, which corporation can make the most fun slip and slide? That even if it's the same thing, it still feels fun every time. But then they had to bring in
like
all kinds of
Monopoly.
they had to bring in all kinds of chemicals and devices, subconscious devices and things to make you still want it, even though it's the fucking same thing every time. And then you have the
Yeah, yeah.
corporations that just
I like to drink sometimes some Pepsi
yeah,
beside this
yeah, right,
water.
right. So like that's all there, but the creativity gets sucked out of the corporations that are the biggest. There's no more creativity, and they just want to make the
Yeah.
same thing. And then they also want to
Um,
sit on they want to eat all the tiny companies because they're competitors and they want more money. And it's not even a person that's wanting money. It's somehow the group mind of the corporation that you know the
and
people are pawns.
what's bad, because I feel like actually they need us, and I guess we could do better commercials, better, I don't know, even
Most definitely.
storylines, even movies, and
Yeah. Most
but
definitely.
you need to go there and maybe write a book or a scenario or something like that, and be brave. See
Yeah.
what's
Yeah. I mean, you can do that. Like, I could do that. I could go get into the corporate world, and it would probably be fun. Like, I became such a Puritan after all of this like experience that I've had. I became such Puritan that I was like, I'm not even touching the money thing.
or you can go, or you can be the new Alan Watts of this time. So, or like Moji, or but I don't see you like Moji, sitting in a place like that. I don't know.
No. I
Maybe
take every single
maybe
person that I see and I say, okay, not that, okay, not that, okay, not that, and then I stopped doing that mentally, but I still
it's
hold that.
hard to be guru. It's hard to be guru. Even in another level, you are something else. I don't know.
It
That's
is it is it is
harvesting
hard
energy as
because
well.
you're dealing with people coming to you with their bullshit all day long.
Yeah,
And then they
yeah.
also, they're scared. And then, I even saw Muji say one time, like, this guy came back that Muji hadn't seen for 3 years. And he's like, the same thing. Oh, they're doing the same thing. And then Muji's like, you haven't changed at all. Like, you've done no work. You've done no self work for 3 years. So he scolded the
They're
guy.
talking the same shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he scolded him, and it's like people do that. I mean, with gurus, people have an excuse to do that. Like with a guru, you're supposed to be like, "Oh, I'm a tiny person and I'm not worth anything, and please help fix me,"
Yeah, yeah.
and all that. But like,
Actually,
I don't want
it's a
that.
change of energy. They are giving away their energy to something else, like shaking hand or
Yeah, it's the field.
like good boy.
They are the
Yeah.
field, and you walk into the room. You're walking into Muji. His whole field like permeates everything, and then you can
Yeah.
have the opportunity to look at your own sort of stuff that you need to work on, and you don't even have to talk to him. You'll
Uh,
just be in there.
yeah, it's hard to do that. It's not, not, not for me. No.
It's not for me either. Definitely not. I mean, I'll do my stuff. I'll put my stuff out, and people get things from it, but I don't. It's not
Yeah,
organized, and it's never going to be organized.
I'm continuing with my trainings, my work, and my art, and maybe this way I can influence others to at least maybe do some inner work, read books, or
Hmm. A
I
lot
don't
of
know,
times,
enjoy life at
it's
a higher
just
potential.
it's like people are entrained so fully that they need something to come and like knock them a little bit, like because
Yeah,
the programming is that powerful. You will literally do the same motion every day for 50 years, and you won't know that anything could be different.
yeah. Actually, you transform in now automatism
The what?
and in into an automatic,
Yeah. Right.
like a robot.
Right.
So maybe you have somewhere a safety button and say, okay, don't do that. Even in a dream state, you push that button, and the next day you can uh, hit the first wave, and after that, for 2 years, you have like 8, 10 waves that shake you so badly that you need to change.
Yeah, those will come along regardless. Like even if you want to be the same routine every day forever, you won't be able to do it. Like go ahead and try and do
No, no.
that. that will make the wave that comes and breaks your ass loose. It will be a tsunami at that point instead of just like the tide
Yeah,
pool.
yeah. But in the same time, don't waste your energy, because your energy is important. With your energy, you learn a lot. You need to stay here to understand better everything that future holds. I understand that we can change the past, we can change our present and our future.
Mm-hmm.
But first, we need to see the future.
Yeah.
If you understand what I'm saying. We'll have all kind of technologies in, I don't know, in 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's all what we're doing now with the shows. You know, the shows you have like Black Mirror, you have Rick and Morty, you have they're all the shows are out there which are showing everybody the possible potentialities for the timeline to go down.
What's your opinion about Netflix?
It's a portal. I mean, it's a portal for people who are not imaginative
Yes.
already to be able to see like, okay, I see this show has clones in it, and as far as I know, this reality doesn't have clones. Of course, that's incorrect, but as far as they know, the reality doesn't have clones. So then they see the show and they're like, okay, it could be something different than it is. And that sounds like...
Yeah, but in the same time, you can drop into a layer or a universe with gods, with stuff like that. And
yeah. But that's
even you
still
are a
past.
god.
That's...
You know, I salute the god in you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
everybody's the same.
We all have this kind of imaginarium inside of us.
Mm-hmm.
What I was afraid during the past 2 years was that that kind of show would trigger this reality, this basic reality, and man, I was like, okay. Even I stopped doing projections.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I need to stop with this, because I don't. If I'm doing that, somebody else will have less energy, and I get higher and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was not judging myself, but I understood better the responsibility that comes with this kind of flow of energy.
Yeah, I know that feeling. It's the feeling that like I'm afraid to move because I'm hurting somebody with like every single thought or emotion as a necessary
result. It could happen. I mean,
yeah. But the thing I came away with was that like it's balanced as it is, no matter what you do. Okay, no matter you do the worst thing or the best thing, or you do nothing, it remains balanced. And also, you can every single thing is a thought. Like you just said, like maybe I'm hurting somebody by doing something nice. That's one thought. That thought itself is not inherently different than saying like clouds are moving outside. But you attach energetic sort of like a little clutching with that particular thought, so then it becomes important in your life.
Yeah, I guess.
Because
that's why I've said you have a brilliant mind, and I don't know why brilliant minds have hard times. You know, maybe it's your own. you created your own story to be like this.
It's like the Russell Crowe movie, right? Beautiful Mind. Like he went insane trying to track how the pigeons were moving, and trying to like...
Yeah. That's an amazing movie, and that's actually a normal story right now. That's not science fiction or fantasy for me.
Yeah.
With the other world, with the friend, imaginary friend, or that little girl.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen a lot of things. I've seen a ghost in front of me, and it was like a hologram of my girlfriend uncle.
Mm-hmm.
He died, and actually he appeared to me with 2 hours before the phone ringed, and somebody said to her, okay, your uncle died, you know, and
wow.
He was in front of me. I was sleeping, and he said she's on a good hand. I was like, what the fuck, you know? And after that, disappeared like a smoke.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Happened like.
he was saying like he's happy with you being with her. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that.
Did you tell the family about it at all?
I told her. I actually I woke up directly and said to her, "Your uncle might die already. I don't know."
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "Okay, you are joking right now." Stop. And after that, 2 hours later, the phone
Wow.
rings and
What? How did she
bad
react?
news.
How did she react to that, seeing that it actually happened?
Um, how I told you, I've seen a lot of things like when I was a kid, from 3 years old to 7 years old. I had the same dream, and night after that night, and when I woke up, like for 4 years, that was pretty traumatic for me. I was like having my hands on fire. I've seen that.
Mm-hmm.
I was waking up, and I was the only one who seen the blue red light on my hands, like I was on fire, and nobody else
Ah.
seen that, you know. And
Was it
a lot of
painful too?
things happened. I had that one moment I was laying at the girl, sleeping, and another like succubus or something like that, like from the pillow, went up, and I had
Does that
a
continue
few.
on? Does that sort of thing continue on in your present life, or is that sort of a childhood thing?
From time to time, like from 4 years, 5 years. At one time, I was helping an old man. He was hit by a car in front of me, actually, and I was trying to help him. The ambulance came, and I was on a lot of people were around, like 30, 40 people gathered to see what happened. And at one point, somebody made pass. I felt that presence, and went directly to me, put a hand on me, and said, "Hey, what's going on?" And I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" And yeah, actually, he knew my name. And for the first time, I felt a strong presence. He was bald and but built and androgenic at the face, and only that question triggered something inside of me, like it's strange. This dude is from another part, you know.
But he was in the physical.
Yes, he
Huh.
was.
You're
He
saying he's
was.
androgynous, like male, female, or neither?
Yeah, he was dressed up, but the face looked. And he was a tall guy.
Mm.
I remember that I was 70
And he didn't say
at that
anything
time.
else besides like, "Hey."
Sorry?
He didn't say anything else, like no more conversation.
No, the bus came, and I entered in the bus, and I left even that old guy with the ambulance, and
Mm.
I didn't care about nothing, just to leave that place. You know, I was not ready for that kind of meeting
Yeah.
at that time. I felt
Yeah.
he was outside from the box.
Mm-hmm. Gurdjieff, you know George Gurdjieff. You heard of him at all?
Yeah.
He had a similar experience that in his books that he wrote when he was trying to talk about sort of the catalysts that had him getting on his path. Like one of them was just like getting hit in the face by some kid, and that shocked something somehow to where he was like, "Oh, like I'm supposed to be doing something," and it was just a seemingly random thing, like someone like slapped him or poked his cheek or something, but that the way that it happened synchronistically shook him out of whatever thing that he was in.
Yeah, the synchronicity from the past 2 years is even now I watch the clock. And what happened this year? I was laying down with my girlfriend, and a fucking book was like dropped on the couch.
A what?
A book.
A book? Like out of the
Yeah,
sky?
a book, and I don't know how. And I was me and her was like, what the fuck is going on? And I started to read that book. It was an Amanda Quick book. Something like a strange story with tunnels and maybe other people from different layers. And actually was pretty good book. And it happened. It was like somebody or something dropped it or let it down on.
You still have it?
On the couch. Yeah, I do. I have it.
Can you show it?
I don't know. 1 second.
Are you hungry?
It might take longer because I have a lot of books and don't know where is it.
Okay.
But it's Amanda Quick. The another story maybe.
Quick?
Yeah.
What is that?
Amanda Quick.
Amanda Quick?
Yeah.
Like that's the author's name?
Yes. No, I don't have it.
I've never heard of it.
Me neither. And until then, my girlfriend is reading a lot of romance and like.
Of course she is.
Yeah, she's reading.
Is she reading 50 Shades of Grey?
Yeah, she did.
Oh man.
But she's more like in Sandra Brown scenarios, and that's pretty good because it's balancing me because I'm more into sci-fi, more into another perspective, and she's more like romance. She's like 5 books, 10 books per week, and
yeah. Wow.
Yeah. She actually can read a book in 4 or 5 hours.
Wow.
So
I have books I'm trying to read, but I get to them very slowly. I probably read a book every 3 or 4 months. I would say something like that.
that's good. That's good. You let the time flow and enjoy that book.
Yeah.
Sometimes I read a book 2 times to understand better or to see from a different perspective after 3 months or 6 months or something like that. Yeah. But I have books like I'm reading like 50 pages and no, that's not for me. I lay down and from time to time it appears in my dreams, like I'm going on that kind of streets and doing that kind of stuff, and like the dream is going in another direction in another book, and so on.
Yeah.
You know?
So does that bring it back in like in your actual reading of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I kind of stopped ingesting information.
You make room for something else to come.
Yeah. I mean, even just like the channel stuff occupies me enough, and having shows and stuff, that as far as
you are like writing your own book without doing it on a public scale, like to sell a bestseller. But you
Yeah.
can do that. At one point you can stop doing the shows, and for 1 month, 2 months, to add all the the storylines, the people, and make a book.
Yeah, I could write a book at some point.
Yeah. I guess everybody started like that. Yeah, I imagine sometimes like George Lucas, Stephen King, and these guys went into something similar as us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, they tapped into what's outside of the realm, obviously, because it was all different,
Or inside them, or inside
or
them.
inside them, yeah.
Yeah.
And the out
That's why I respect that. I actually respect everybody who made a progress and was pretty bold at that time to go and make that kind of story. I
yeah,
don't know, but right now I feel like if I'm speaking from the heart, okay, this kind of stuff could happen. Everybody's like, okay, man, you're nuts. You know what I'm saying? And need to change it in an artistic way, and don't be so direct with people, because they can't manage that kind of
no, no.
heavy information.
Most people can't, but the collective is gonna have to come around at some point. Like it's either
Yeah,
that or the Georgia Pillars thing come true, and just like we have a reset, like a population reset, because it can only
I
go.
hate I hate that word, because I don't know, the reset. It's like, okay, let me do my stuff. Let me live my life like for 50 years more.
Mm-hmm.
Let me do my understanding better, my layers, my. And
Yeah.
after that, okay, I'm okay with it. I'm not afraid of the dying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm. It's a waste of material, of learning. Of That's why I'm here. That's why I I see from that point of view.
Well, everybody has. We tend to think sometimes that like the doomsday scenarios is something that's a collective thing. I don't even think it's collective.
No,
I
it's
think
personal.
it's personal, it's individual, and if you go into that yourself, then you're gonna be going down the timeline that has the world explode.
Yeah, I think the entire universe flows through you. You are the entire universe, but in the same time, the outside people who are awake, they're the same universe or other kind of universes,
Yeah.
and we learn from each other, like making a bigger puzzle and put it all together.
Yeah. It's definitely not exactly the same. Like, you know, everybody is unique and everyone has their own sort of internal things they like or they don't like. But as far as the communication and how you connect with one another, it's the same energy. It's human energy.
Yeah. That's why I like to say I celebrate diversity. I'm not stuck with, okay, and I'm not gonna judge you because you do that kind of work, or you have a higher rank as me, or
Mm-hmm.
okay, if you are an hypocrite, or but somehow we all are hypocrites at some level. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel that
Yeah.
way. We kind of are selfish when it comes to surviving, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, you're a hypocrite
I,
if you say something that's going to happen that doesn't happen, and the fact is you don't know what's going to happen. So by virtue of you making I've said this before, like promises are lies. You make a promise, you're telling a
yeah,
lie.
yeah. After all, this reality is a lie. So somebody lied to us. So
The whole thing is just funny at the end of it, but like I mean, you don't have to have sort of enlightenment and see like, oh, everything's a joke or whatever, and then go hide in the corner. Like, no, that's your
no,
opportunity
no,
to
no.
play and go paint your paintings and go like hang out with people and stuff.
Yeah, I love my friends. I don't have so many, but right now, but those who stuck with me, I mean, 5, 10 guys, I'm amazing, having an amazing time. When even I try to not talk too much, because when I start to talk, okay, they let me like 50 minutes, 20 minutes, okay, oh man, okay, man, stop it. Let's talk about girls, let's talk about cars, let's talk about something else. Let's drink a fucking beer and have some fun.
Right.
And I'm okay with it. I understand it. This is it. This is their reality. I like that reality too.
Yeah.
And I like the moment when we go to a cinema and see a science fiction movie, and for me, it's somehow it's boring, or I understand mm, other half of the movie what's going on, and they are talking about that movie for 2 weeks. Wow, mind blowing, mind blowing. And okay, man, I tried to say that to you like 5 years ago, and you didn't listen to me. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's like everybody needs somebody else, not from their corner, to say, okay, this is happening, this can happen, this invention, this technology can come, and they like to discover for themselves and not to like I'm a spoiler attack.
Yeah, you're like a spoiler alert, like 5 years
Yeah,
before.
yeah, yeah. That's not good. That's not good.
No. Well, I mean, if you're acting in that capacity of I'm the truth teller, like that's what you're doing. Like you're giving spoiler alerts, but you're doing it out of like an insecurity, because you can you
Yeah,
can you can
about
do that without feeling like I need to tell you, like I need you to know this. I need you to know that the Earth is flat or the Earth is round or that aliens are coming or whatever.
Earth is how you want to be. It can be Neverland. It can be, I don't know, never-ending story
Yeah.
from my heart. That's a good storyline if you're gonna live forever, and that's amazing.
Yeah, well, you can't get bored with a story if it's like never starting and never stopping, and it contains all of the things. Like when you stay present, the stories are still there, but they're also like they're always flowing around, and
Yeah, about that, how I see the reset. I see like, okay, I'm living for 70, I don't know, 100 years, and after that, I'm going in a baby body. That's good for me. I mean, actually, it could happen to go and have a like, but I don't want to go in that storyline with the NPCs. Like somebody have a body and do the basic programming, and that's like more like body snatching. And you go directly like he is 14, or
yeah, yeah,
that's more mind blowing.
or
And
like walk-ins.
but could happen.
Yeah, I think it's you have all of the things out there, so you as the individual can pick and choose, energetically, not necessarily like you're walking down the supermarket aisle and picking pears or apples. Like you're energetically, you're moving this way or that way when you're hit with the choices or the possibilities. And the more choices or possibilities you have, then you know it gives you more options how you want to flow through your life or how you feel is correct or whatever.
Yes, yes, and you need to have courage to achieve your dreams from the approaching this new comprehending all the tools you have on your side, and not be afraid of that.
Yeah, courage is definitely
But
necessary.
once you go there, you're gonna see if it's worth it or not. I don't know. It's a long story. It's your own path. It's your own journal. You are writing it right now, doing it.
Yeah, you write your own life story as you're living it. and
Yeah.
it's your option if you want to write it out to an hour ahead, or you want to write it not at all, or you want to write it to
The good news, the good news, I think, and I understand that you can edit it anytime you want.
yeah. Well, people write
So
their
that's good.
stories out, and then they're like, "This is the story," and then they try to stay with that one initial version, and that's like the worst
I'm
possible
doing
way.
that all the time.
That's the worst way you can do it.
Yeah, I'm not harming somebody else. Maybe my own signature, maybe sometime I would want to do my signature in one way, after that leave another mark, or
Yeah, but it's still yours.
I
Like
have the freedom.
you can do what you want. Like you can
Yeah.
start it or stop it or whatever. So, but
What
all
about that community you are talking about? That big community, that big dream.
the big community, the way I've understood how communities have tried to happen is that they get culty and then the government comes and wipes them out.
Yeah, yeah,
Either because like the government doesn't like that happening, or whoever doesn't like that happening, or because the community is actually engaging in sort of bad shit. But I think more likely it's the former, where like the entities don't want this sort of energy pooling together and making a big creative thing, which is like
yeah.
a creative challenge for us to, if we want to make a community like that, how to go about doing that without attracting unwanted attention.
I
So
understand that.
so for me, if I were to ever be involved with something like that, it has to involve individuals who can stay internally quiet and not sit there and be like, "Oh, we finally arrived in the thing, and let's go shout it from the rooftops." Like you can't do that. If you do that, then the
You
guys,
can do that, and you need to have a plan. You need to be responsible, and you need to work even there.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, if you're gonna construct something and you don't have the tools to build it from your mind, like holographic, and manifest it in reality, you need to do it by your hands. So
mm-hmm. Yeah,
you, it's hard with lazy people to do that.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I feel like the way I'm operating my own life, that community is already interwoven into that, and it will happen
Yeah.
sort of automatically. But as far as how and when and where and all that, that's not known to me. But every time someone talks with me a little bit more about it, then everyone who is sort of privy to the possibility gets a little more glimpse into where and how.
Even even I feel that, even if I'm miles away, different state, different country, over the ocean, I feel that could happen. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it can happen, but I don't want to be that kind of UFO unplugging you. You're from here, and mix it
Yeah,
from
yeah,
in
yeah,
another
yeah.
country.
I would see it more as like somehow it started happening somewhere where you could go to this place and sort of go non NPC style if you want, and then it's an open source, open hub, and nobody's managing it. Like I personally am not gonna manage anything. I can be
Yeah,
in there and I
yeah,
can be involved, but I'm not gonna be sitting there like managing it or telling people what to do. So like I see it as that. It's
the leadership is hard.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because we all know what happens with leadership. Like look at what's happened here. It turns into
Yeah,
a war thing, right? Like now you got to worry about the leader getting killed. The whole thing is just backwards.
yeah.
It's
Almost all the leaders, even the spiritual leaders, were killed, and
yeah,
even musicians, and maybe it's how they sign the contract or piece of the entities.
maybe, maybe. Yeah,
Even
it's
these conversation pieces of the entities, but because if you are gonna upload it on a big platform, it's gonna do that.
I'm sure I've pissed off plenty of entities, but I don't. I mean,
Yeah, you did.
it doesn't matter to me because I've already been. I mean, I've received the negative end of that stick the whole previous part of the life. So now, if they're gonna get some back, so be it. Like that's not my problem. You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've done that. I heard that because during the past few years, I tried to post on Facebook everything that my mind understood. And imagine for in my old account, I had like 4Ks uh, of people, and right now I have like 300, and I talk only with you and a few others. That's a big difference. Like
Yeah.
in my old Instagram, I had like 12Ks, and right now I have 100. So it's a big difference. I stopped doing that kind of role play with bodybuilding and lifting heavy, and okay, it was good for a long time, but I feel it was like a century ago.
Yeah. You can fall into the thing of like hunting for sort of followers, like that sort of mindset. It's an addiction thing. I remember when I was in
Yeah, yeah.
that, I tried that for a little bit, and you just go follow everybody you can find, and then they follow, half of them follow you back, and then you have a crowd. But
It happened fast for me because it happened in 3 years, like when I started competing,
mhm.
and it was easy. After that, when I started to talk from inside out, they spoke. Okay, they say
Yeah.
this guy is crazy.
Yeah. It's not the same crowd, and you're taking like the meathead crowd, right? And trying to tell them
Yeah, yeah,
something
yeah.
intellectual, like they're not gonna get it.
I understand them because I was there. I understand very well. I'm okay with. I'm a sports fan. I'm okay with boxing, kickboxing, uh, rugby, football. I like to watch. Uh, I'm not judging anybody, but sometimes you need to read a book. Man, you need to read a book. You need to have another perspective. You
Yeah.
may come across to I don't know, a lady who's a lawyer or a doctor, or what the fuck you are gonna talk. Okay, you're gonna lay down and do your stuff, but after that, know what I mean?
Yeah.
As a part of basic reality, not saying sci-fi stuff or something like that.
A lot of people are still like at the beginning. That's what you would
Yeah,
call the NPCs. Like they don't, when you're in that state, you're not you don't even know that you exist as a human, let alone as like a multidimensional being. Like so
yeah.
those ones, you can argue with them all day, or you could be kind with them all day, or you could do any approach all day, and they will remain exactly the same.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Sometimes it's good to be that.
It
It's
is what it
easier.
is. It is what it is. I mean, like people are who they are, so I say let it
Yeah.
be. I gotta wrap this up, Darrian. It's coming up on like an hour and a half, so
It was a pleasure to have this conversation, and good luck with everything. I'm gonna send that painting
yeah,
as soon as it's dry, and
I look forward to
I
it.
don't know, man. I see you there.
We'll stay connected. We'll continue the thing.
Yes, yes, we gonna do that
Yeah.
with this kind of approach. With I'm not I tried with YouTube channels and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Maybe I'll come rarely, and I'll watch your new videos and
Yeah,
new.
you can come back on if you want. The way I interact with everybody, including like closer friends, is I don't sit there and try to make a relationship happen. Like if they come back into my mind or something, or some, then their communication happens. But it can months can go by where I don't talk with somebody, or that's just
It
how.
will happen again, and
Yeah.
maybe one day I'll visit US, and believe me, you are you are on the list. So
Yeah.
I like to visit, and you are invited here in Romania as well. Anytime you want to make a big trip.
I'll do a world trip at some point. We'll see.
Okay,
I have a sister in Norway, so I could maybe wrap that up in it too.
that's a great place. Be careful with the Vikings. Prepare yourself. Let the beer grow.
Yeah. All right, Darrian. Thank you for coming on. It was very
My
good.
pleasure. Have an amazing day.
You
Bye
too.
bye.
Bye.